Okay, the time is approximately 6 p.m., December 12th, 2024. Farragut Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting will now begin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and online. I want to thank you for your presence at tonight's Board of Aldermen meeting. My name is Ron Williams, the fourth elected mayor of the town of Farragut. We appreciate that each of you has taken your time from your busy schedules to either attend or view tonight's meeting to see how our town government works. All Farragut Board of Mayor and Aldermen meetings are public notice per Tennessee state law. All board meetings and minutes are taken and are available at a later date. Each meeting will be recorded and can be viewed at a later date on YouTube. If you're in attendance, you should be able to pick up a copy of tonight's agenda at the door when you came in tonight. If you were not able to attend tonight and are viewing from home, then the agenda is available online at our website. For those in attendance that would like to speak, please pick up a blue card at the door and write your name and the agenda number you wish to comment on. There will also be time reserved near the end of the meeting for citizens' comments on non-agenda subjects, which also require that you fill out the blue card with citizen comments as your time that you wish to speak. On each agenda item, the mayor will ask the town recorder for residents' input. During this time, any Farragut residents wishing to speak to the board on that specific agenda item may do so for up to 3 minutes. After being recognized by the mayor, please go to the podium and to the microphone in order to be heard and viewed by all. To conduct efficient business-like meetings, the town has adopted rules for how its meetings will be conducted. Primarily, these rules are designed to keep the meeting moving, ensure that all points of view are heard and considered, and to provide common courtesy to everyone. We ask that you observe the established meeting rules when you address the board. At the beginning of each presentation, please state your name and address for the record. We ask that you address all your questions to the mayor or, in his absence, the vice mayor. Do not direct questions of the alderman or the staff members. If necessary, the mayor may call on an alderman or staff member concerning your question or comments. Once you've given your input, please return to your seat so that we can continue with the meeting. We ask that every speaker avoid the use of improper language, profanity, or other inappropriate conduct, and address issues, not individuals or personalities, with malicious comments. Speakers should strive to avoid redundancy and should have their own original viewpoints. We ask that you stay on topic with that agenda item. We are here tonight doing the people's business. Okay, we'll start tonight with a roll call by the town recorder for a quorum.
Alderman Burnett is absent. Alderman Kane?
Here.
Alderman White?
Here.
Vice Mayor Meyer?
Here.
Mayor Williams?
Here. Thank you, Allison. We do have a quorum. Now, please join me by standing for a silent prayer in memory of our veterans, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to our country's flag, led tonight by Alderman White. Do we have any agenda amendments?
No, sir.
We do not. If none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, if all in favor, please say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Let the record show the December 12th, 2024 agenda has been approved as posted. Approval of the minutes, any
No, sir.
changes? None. I'll need a motion, please.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay. If in favor of approval, please say yes.
Yes.
Okay, let the record show the November 14th, 2024 minutes have been approved as posted. Mayor's report, I'll start with a big thank you to our committee, volunteers, along with our staff on our two latest events, Light the Park with well over 3,000 attending, and Celebrate the Season event at the community center with possibly the largest group of kids ever. I'd also be remiss if I did not mention the ladies who organized and put on the Christmas parade and the very successful gathering at McGill Plaza. This was by far the biggest Farragut Christmas parade ever. It has grown into a great annual event and has all the Farragut folks looking forward to upcoming Christmas holidays. Just a piece of housekeeping, the town hall will be closed on both December 24th and 25th. And Vice Mayor, do you have anything to report?
No, sir.
None. Any of the aldermen have anything?
I just wanted to,
briefly,
go ahead, David.
just briefly, Mayor.
Yes, go right ahead, David.
Concord Baptist Church has finally closed the old Bel Air entrance. And it's made it considerably safer for everybody that drives on Kingston Pike and comes out of the church, and especially the people that live in Bel Air. So I just wanted to say thank you, and it's finally closed.
Yeah, it was a good job. I agree with you.
I just wanted to say, it was very fun to be part of the first lighting of the park as an alderman. It was a great experience with the kids, and I think the atmosphere here in town for Christmas is amazing with all the different events going on.
Agreed. Okay, next will be ordinances. Ordinance 2421, public hearing on ordinance on the second reading to amend the Farragut Municipal Code, Chapter 8, business license in its entirety with a new ordinance entitled Business Registration Program.
Yes, sir. During the first reading of the ordinance, the board requested the home occupation definition in the zoning ordinance to be referenced in the amended ordinance for second reading, and that update has been made. It's in section 8-2B of the attached and updated ordinance. The motion is to approve ordinance 2421 on second and final reading.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, any resident comments?
No, sir.
None at all? Okay, discussion. We'll start with the Vice Mayor.
Pass.
Alderman Kane.
None.
None. Alderman White.
I can't vote for this mayor because of the section on home businesses and booth businesses. A lot of citizens in Farragut are retired. They run businesses out of their home to supplement their income. I realize they're just wanting permission to collect information. But if you collect the information, something's got to be done with it someday. May not be this board, but another board could take it up and do whatever they want to. I just feel like these people shouldn't have to pay sales tax if we ever tried to put a sales tax on them. You take the consignment store in Village Green, a lot of people take their clothes there that their children have outgrown and stuff like that, and people with limited income go in and purchase. And I don't think putting the sales tax on them ever would do it. The rest of this ordinance I don't have a problem with, but if it did not have that about home businesses and booth businesses, then I could support it, but right now I can't.
Okay, do you need any further explanation from the town recorder on that?
I need what?
Do you need any other explanation from Allison on the what you just asked about?
Well, it might help if she wants to do it.
Or David, either one?
Well, I mean, obviously, the ordinance has been in place for some time. We're just changing the name of it to the Business Registration Program rather than the Business License Program, because a lot of cities have business licenses and they have business tax that goes with the business license. We don't do that, and so we just wanted to make sure it was really clear to businesses that come into town that this isn't a license process like you're used to. It's a business registration program. And so then the piece about the home-based business, there's a section in our zoning ordinance that talks about the different types that are allowed in homes. Many of those are service-based businesses. They could be architects, you could be masseuse, a hairdresser, and they don't do any kind of sales tax. They're a service-oriented type business, like accountants would be. So those would never come into play. But any of those types of businesses would have to register anyway with the state of Tennessee if they have a sales use on permit. That would not be something that goes to the town of Farragut. That's about the best I can do to give you an explanation of what you'd have to do as a home-based business if you were going to sell anything for retail purposes.
Would that include internet sales?
It could, yes, sir. It could include internet sales through the internet, sure. Absolutely.
So,
And there's thresholds that it would have to reach so many sales, and I don't know what that number is off the top of my head, but any numbers over a certain amount, then you would have to start collecting sales tax. If it's less than that, you don't.
That's state law anyway.
That's correct,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
sir. That's
Thought
state
it
law.
was.
Yeah.
But the purpose of this information, would it be to gather information to who runs an internet business and
It would, yes, sir. We would get their name and address and what type of business they have. That's correct.
okay.
Okay, well, I don't have any comment on it at
Mr.
all.
Mayor, I have one more question.
And-
Now
okay.
that we're at this
Go ahead.
point. Do we know what the status is in regards to the same type of makeup of that the planning commission was drafting?
That's a committee process that has not started yet, but that'll be starting up soon.
All right.
I think you're on that committee, by the way, so
Yeah, I just wanted to see where
you want to
where
make
we
sure
were at.
where we're at, okay? Good idea. Okay. Okay, with discussion complete, I'll ask the town recorder for a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Kane.
No?
Alderman White.
No,
Vice Mayor Meyer.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Mayor William, yes. Okay, with that said, this fails on the second reading by roll call vote on December 14th, 2024, at approximately 6:11 p.m. Okay, ordinance 24-19, public hearing on the first reading of ordinance 24-19. An ordinance to amend the Farragut Municipal Code, Appendix A, zoning, Chapter 3, Section 3, rural single residential district R1, subsection B, permitted uses and structures to provide for second detached single-family dwelling unit under certain conditions.
Good evening, I'm Mark Shipley, I present this item. This actually was initially discussed at the August Planning Commission meeting. They had a workshop discussion about this. The applicant has more than an acre and a half on property zoned R1, and they asked to have a potential for a second dwelling unit to be added to an existing lot with those kind of size, with that size limitation and zoning of R1. So when the Planning Commission was given that idea, they were generally open to that concept, but they asked the staff to look at how many lots are we talking about would potentially qualify for this. So I asked the GIS analyst for the town to look at that, kind of do a query on how many lots are over an acre and a half and zoned R1, and there's about 115 house lots. So the Planning Commission was a little bit concerned about that number, and they asked the staff to look at options to kind of lower that, since this is something we don't really provide for in most of the other zoning districts. We do allow for it in agricultural district under certain conditions, but not any of the residential districts. So one of the options that the staff presented to the Planning Commission at their October workshop discussion was to look at the existing lots of record that could not be further subdivided to be in compliance with our subdivision regulations. And mainly that would be lots that wouldn't have enough frontage to meet the requirements. So in R1 district, a new lot has to have at least 75 feet of public road frontage. So if you have a lot that has less than 150 feet of frontage, then they wouldn't be able to be further subdivided to meet that one standard. So that's something we looked at, and when we applied that to the 115 lots, that was reduced to down around 25. And the Planning Commission was very comfortable with that. So they asked the staff to put together some language for them to make a recommendation on at the November meeting. So we did that, and that's in Ordinance 24-19. And those parameters that we have in that ordinance, obviously the lot has to be at least 1.5 acres. Secondly, it has been determined by the town staff that the lot could not be further subdivided to be in compliance with the subdivision regulations. Thirdly, the second dwelling unit has to meet the setback requirements for the principal dwelling units in the R1 district. That's a similar requirement, what we applied to the agricultural district as well. Fourth, the second dwelling unit has to be situated so that it's at least 40 feet from the existing dwelling unit. And the 40 feet came from, in R1, the combined side yard setback requirement is 40 feet. So that's where we got that number. Under E, the fifth provision, the second dwelling unit shall not create an additional access to a public street. So in other words, the two dwelling units would have to share the existing access. F, the second dwelling unit would have to meet the applicable utility code fire suppression requirements. Obviously, they have to get a building permit to demonstrate all that. And then finally, the lot of record and both dwelling units shall be served with sanitary sewer and water provided by a public utility. In the R1 district, if you're on sanitary sewer, each dwelling unit is required to have at least an acre. So that's kind of one of the reasons for that provision. It just gives you more space if you're having a second dwelling unit on a lot. And it's just better practice to have that on public utility. So with those criteria, the Planning Commission was comfortable with making a recommendation to the board to approve ordinance 24-19. They did so unanimously at their meeting on November 21st. And the town staff also recommends approval of ordinance 24-19. This provision does advance one of the strategies that's in our comprehensive land use plan of encouraging greater housing choice. So it does give someone an option, if they can meet all those criteria, to have the ability to have a second dwelling unit. So with that, I will answer any questions anyone may have. And I do think the applicant is here to, they have one item I think they want to talk about as well.
Okay. We have anybody signed up to speak on it?
Need a motion and a second first.
Excuse me.
Need a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay.
We do not have
No,
anyone signed
okay.
up.
Discussion, I guess let's hear from the applicant
Okay.
first, and then we'll.
It's Tyler Butler, 714 Fritz Road. The language says that both dwellings need to have sewer, but the existing house is on septic, and I would rather not put sewer on it. I mean, I'm willing to put sewer on the second dwelling. I just don't want to have to change from septic to sewer on the existing.
Mark, does sewer go down that road?
Yeah, it does.
Currently it does. So it's not, all he'd have to do is tap in.
Yeah. It's on the road. It's on Fritz Road.
Okay.
I can see, well, like I mentioned to Tyler, one of the things we have to think about is not just his
Yeah.
lot, so we need to be thinking about all 25, if that's how many we have. And if y'all are comfortable changing that, that's up to you all. But that is something, we got to think beyond just that lot, and think about all the ones that could qualify. Do we want to have that flexibility? If you do, then that's your prerogative. But that's a consideration.
Can we make an exception for this lot only?
Well, I think it'd be better to put that in the language of the ordinance if that's what you feel is appropriate. And that way, anyone that meets the same criteria is held to the same standard.
Okay.
That was one of the items that we talked about at the Planning Commission meeting. There actually, the Vice Chairman made a motion to clarify that language a little bit. So I think it was a provision the Planning Commission felt was good to have, where you have more than one dwelling unit on the same lot, just because of the space considerations and things like that. You may have a drain field location and, just probably a better planning practice, especially if it's available relatively close. So, but it's up to you all. That's,
So that was Planning Commission's recommendation. So with discussion, Alderman White, have you got any more to say on this? Are any questions?
No, not really, with the exception of, could we make it either or? So this gentleman could use sewer and somebody else that had sewer available could use it, or
I think he wants to use sewer.
he does?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that the
you could
existing house
clarify
on the lot
that
has got the
the
drain.
new dwelling unit has to be on it. I mean,
Yeah.
you could do that. I'm not sure if this is it's kind of almost a major enough change. It might need to go back to the planning commission, actually.
Well, if it is, I'd recommend it go back to Planning
Because
Commission
it was something that they talked about.
because this is what they sent to us as far as the ordinance.
Right.
And he don't want to do that, so.
I have to agree with, I think it should be an either or. I think the existing dwelling, if it's already existing, should not be held accountable to the new dwelling. I think the new dwelling should be on sewer, but the existing dwelling, should be allowed to use its existing system.
Okay. That's your all's.
That's not how the ordinance is written.
I know.
Yeah, that probably would, in my opinion, that probably would be a change significant enough to go back to the planning commission.
I agree.
I mean, because we can't sit here and do a variance for each applicant.
No. It needs to be in the language.
Yeah,
That's
it
the way
does.
it needs to be addressed. And if the planning commission agrees with that, then we can have that in there. But, and they may be fine with that, but they did talk about it.
Okay, well then, my suggestion is it goes back to Planning Commission.
Mayor, I think just for clarity, if we could have the board, if it's your intent, is to send it back to the planning commission to give them the reason why you want to send it back to the planning commission. So whoever wants to make that motion, we would just need to make sure it's clear to the planning commission what the board's intent is. It sounds like it's to require the new home that would go in to be on sanitary sewer, but not to have to change the existing home of the lot of record for their sewer. So if somebody wants to make that
Agreed.
motion,
Agreed. Yep.
Agreed? Okay.
so we just need to make a motion with that on it in a second, and then the board vote
Okay.
to send it back to the planning
Actually, I
commission.
do have one other question then. What if it's an empty lot, then we're gonna build two new dwellings, so.
Oh, does
we
both
need-
have to be on
So we
sewer?
need to include both of them if there's no existing dwelling.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. I'll make a motion to send it back to the Planning Commission for clarity on the, whether we can allow one to stay on and one not.
So maybe just for clarity, Mayor, that the new residential unit to be added would be required to be on sewer, but the existing lot or the existing home, if it was not on sewer, it would not be required to be on sewer.
Yeah, it's,
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Well, wait a minute, if there's no sewer available, then that's a cock pistol.
well, if there's no sewer available, then all of them would be on a drain field because there's no sewer.
Yeah.
But this new ordinance says that they shall be on sanitary sewer.
It would require them
Yeah.
to be on sewer for both lots
it
if
would
that was the
be-
case.
Yeah, good planning and, to have anything new ought to be on
On
sanitary sewer, especially in a town like Farragut. that's,
Correct.
Sure.
we-
What if it's not available?
I mean,
That's like a developer having to run sewer to their
it
lots
needs to
then.
get there somehow, in my
That's right.
opinion. There's not a lot of areas that now are, where it's not available, as
Okay.
far as I know, but
Yeah, we don't have any roads that's not available on.
it's different if
It
it's
would
out
be
in
a
the
rare
county or
instance.
something.
There may be a couple, but there would be
All right,
rare
it-
at this
we're-
point.
I'm good with your,
I can't think of any place that don't have it, road-wise. Yeah,
I can't have it, put it unnecessary burden on a existing dwelling.
Okay, well, we'll take it back to the planning commission. It would be the January meeting, I think January 16th, whatever that
I'll second.
third
Second.
Thursday. Okay.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, got
Thanks,
it.
Mark.
Okay. Okay, ordinance 2423. Public hearing on first reading of ordinance 24-23. An ordinance of Town of Farragut, Tennessee, amending the fiscal year 2024-2025 general fund, capital investment program, and ARPA fund budgets passed by ordinance 24-07.
Yes, sir. The general fund will increase by $14,700, and the new expenditures will be $11,188,302. Capital investment program, we have a couple of different things. Part of it will be from fund balance, and that's from the McPhee land purchase, which was for an appraisal that was expended in the fiscal year '24, and for the McPhee dog park for the Boyd Foundation. It's $25,000, which is assigning the funding from the grant to an expenditure. Those will be funded from the fund balance. And then monies from fiscal year '24 that need to be transferred to '25 because it was budgeted in '24 and the expenditures are in '25. That amount is $3,902,265. And then the ARPA fund will be an increase of $266,633 will be from fund balance. And $4,394,377 will be for expenditures budgeted in '24 and moved to '25. Motion's made to approve ordinance 2417 on first reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, any resident comments?
No, sir.
None? Okay, Alderman White?
None.
Alderman Kane?
None?
Alderman Vice Mayor?
Pass.
Okay, I have nothing. I'll ask Town Recorder for a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Kane?
Yes.
Alderman White?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Meyer?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Mayor Williams, yes. Let the record show ordinance 24-07 has been amended by ordinance 24-23 by roll call vote on December 12th, 2024 at approximately 6:27 p.m. Business items. Looks like we have 9 items to review and consider for approval tonight. Okay, we'll start off with approval of information technology managed services provider contract with 10 Hats.
Good evening. Travis Ramsey, IT Manager. The purpose of this agenda is to approve a 12-month contract with 10 Hats as the town's managed services provider, with an option to extend for 24 months. 10 Hats has provided reliable services since May 2020, including network firewall protection, server monitoring, and data backups. The monthly cost is $3,820, totaling $22,920 for the remaining 6 months of the fiscal year. The proposed motion is to approve the managed services provider contract with 10 Hats.
Move to approve.
Okay, second.
Second.
Okay, any resident comments on this one?
No, sir.
Okay, any discussion? If none, I ask if in favor, vote by saying yes.
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 Let the record show the contract has been approved as requested. Next will be approval of contract with Henriksen for Farragut Town Hall furniture and fixtures through, how do you pronounce that? Omnia?
Omnia?
Omnia,
Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
Contract R 221002 and Sourcewell contract number 091423-OFS.
Yes, so the next couple of items, or 4 or 5 items, will be dealing with the ARPA funding that we've received from the federal government, and all the expenditures or the monies for that need to be accounted for by December 31. So a lot of these contracts do deal with that deadline. So let the fun begin. All right, so our first one is for the town hall furniture, and it's through the Sourcewell contract, and it's going to be with Hendrickson. The quote includes new desk, rotunda furniture, reception seating, conference room furniture, and various other fixtures throughout the building. And the furniture purchase is budgeted in the FY25 ARPA fund. The approval of the contract, the motion is to approve the contract with Hendrickson for the Farragut Town Hall furniture and fixtures through Omnia Contract R221002 and Sourcewell Contract 091423-OFS in the amount of $268,154.33.
Okay,
Move to approve.
Second.
okay. Any resident comments?
No, sir.
Okay, any board comments? Okay, if none, I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes.
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 Let the record show the contract's been approved as requested. Next will be approval of contract with Everon for Town Hall security and installation through Omni Contract R220701.
The purpose of this agenda item is to approve a contract with Everon ADT for $121,813.96 to install security equipment at Town Hall through Omnia Contract R220701, funded by the ARPA Town Hall renovation project. The contract includes security cameras, door access readers, intrusion detection and monitoring, as well as retrofitting doors for key card access with scheduled locking and emergency lockdown capabilities. Exterior and parking lot surveillance is also included. The proposed motion is to approve the contract with Everon in the amount of $121,813.96 for Town Hall security and installation.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, any resident comments?
No, sir.
Any board comments? Again, if none, I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Let the record show the contract's been approved as requested. Next will be approval of contract with Everon for Town Hall security licensing through Amana Contract R220701.
The purpose of this item is to approve a 5-year contract with Everon for $35,116.85 to provide licensing for Town Hall security equipment through Omnia Contract R220701. The licensing includes real-time and historical video analytics, cloud storage, and remote monitoring, ensuring cost savings and ease of product warranty. The proposed motion to approve a contract with Everon in the amount of $35,116.85 for the Town Hall security licensing.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, any resident comments?
No, sir.
None, then any board comments? If none, I will ask that if in favor, vote by saying yes.
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 Let the record show that contract's been approved as requested. Next will be approval of purchase from SHI Corp. for Town Hall network equipment through Omni Contract number 2018011-02.
The purpose of this item is to approve the purchase of network equipment for Town Hall from SHI for $34,051.46 through Omnia Contract 2018011-02. The equipment, including a firewall, wireless access points, battery backups, and network switches, is essential for town operations post-renovation and will be installed by Tin Hats, the town's managed services provider. The proposed motion to approve the purchases from SHI for the Town Hall network equipment in the amount of $34,051.46.
Any resident comments?
No, sir.
None. Any board comments? If none, I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes. Yes. Let the
Yes.
record show the contract has been as approved as requested. Okay, next will be approval of Town Hall construction contract, change order number 1 with Wright Construction.
Good evening. Purpose of this agenda item is to approve contract change order number 1 with Wright Construction for the Town Hall renovations. The original bid price for this project was $2,999,700. With any remodeling project that we do on something like that's a 34-year-old building, we're going to run into some unexpected things, and that's what we've done. The board had granted permission for the town administrator to approve up to $25,000. These change orders need to be approved because the cost will exceed his authorized amount. The following list of change orders is as follows. PCO 16, fire-rated hard ceiling in the reception area upstairs, $1,321. PCO 19, electrical and data expansion in room 106, $5,187. PCO number 28, modify the restroom to make the stairwell fit in the rotunda, $4,966. PCO 34, replace all the glass panels that have been lost, that have lost their thermopane seal, $9,484. PCO number 35 is finish the flooring in 2 storage closets that we had originally decided to leave, but then we changed our mind, $2,191. And PCO number 37RR is an upgrade to the entire fire alarm and life safety system in the amount of $87,683. The last one, PCO 37RR, we're in negotiations with the contractor and the engineer on this item. They're saying that we won't exceed that amount, but what we found out is there's a possibility that part of this is covered in the plans already, and so that's why we're asking not to exceed. Staff recommends approval for the change orders in the amount of $110,832 above the contract price of $2,999,700, and the new contract with these changes will be $3,110,532. Approval of the motion, I'd like to read, approval of change order number 1 with Wright Construction not to exceed the amount of $110,832 in contract 2024-07, Farragut Town Hall interior renovations. The new contract amount will be $3,110,532, and to add 17 days to the contract, the new contract completion date is February the 14th, 2025.
Move to approve.
Move to second.
Okay, Bud, anything else we need to know about that?
No, it's like I said, we've run into some unexpected things, and we, like I said, that the one big one there, we're in negotiations. I personally don't believe that we're going to be held accountable for that number. And we met day before yesterday on it with the architect, the engineer, design engineer. They're going to follow up with another company that's supposed to be giving us information. So we just have to do this so that we continue to move forward. If we don't, we're going to stall the project out. And so that's why I put on there not to exceed that amount, so.
Okay, I appreciate your diligence on this. Okay, with any resident comments on this?
No, sir.
None. Any of the aldermen have anything to ask about?
Just one, Mayor.
Okay, go right ahead, Alderman White.
Mine says completion date's February the 14th, 2024.
That should be 2025.
Yeah, it
Good,
should.
good catch, Alderman White.
Get up, Barney.
Let's not go backwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
okay. Okay, then, let's see here. Discussion closed. I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes.
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 He knows? No. Let the record show the change order has been approved as requested. And
Thank
again,
you.
thank you, Bud. Okay, approval of contract 2025-08 with Creek Enterprises LLC for the Farragut Fiber Optic Cable Infrastructure Project.
Yes, sir, this is another one of the ARPA-funded projects that we have going on. This fiber is an extension of the fiber that we're doing for the CMAC project, and it will be to the following, it will be connecting the following locations: Farragut Town Hall, the Public Works Building on Fretz Road, Anchor Park, Mayor Bob Leonard Park, Campbell Station M, the Farragut Community Center, Founders Park at Campbell Station, McPhee Park, McPhee Road property, and the Grisby and then connecting through Grisby Chapel Road. The bids were open for this on November 18th, and the bidder was Creek Enterprises. They submitted a low bid of $1,187,654 with an ad alternate. And due to the budget constraint, staff does not recommend doing the ad alternate at this time. The motion is to award contract 2025-08 Farragut Fiber Optic Cable Infrastructure Project to Creek Enterprises LLC.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Resident comments?
No, sir.
Okay, none. Any discussion from our alderman?
None.
If none, then I'll ask that in favor, vote by saying yes.
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 Let the record show the contract has been approved as requested. Okay, next will be approval of contract with Cannon & Cannon for construction engineering inspection, CEI services for the Farragut fiber optic infrastructure project.
Yes, sir. So this agenda item goes along with the previous one. Cannon & Cannon will be doing the construction engineering inspections for the project. That will include any kind of inspections. They were selected based on RFQ that we did. And the motion is to approve the professional services agreement with Cannon & Cannon for CEI services in the amount of $150,000 for the Farragut fiber optic infrastructure project.
Okay,
Move to approve.
Second.
okay, any resident comments?
No, sir.
Okay, anyone on the,
None.
none? Okay. Okay, if in favor, please say yes.
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 Let the record show the contract has been approved as requested. Next will be approval of utility make-ready work agreements for the Farragut fiber optic cable and infrastructure project.
Yes, sir. This, let me get over to this quick. So our Kimley Horn, who are our project design consultants, they developed the plans and specifications for the project. There's a considerable amount of work that will be required for overhead utilities to move prior to mounting the town's fiber optic cable installation. The contracts will be made with AT&T, Charter, LCB, Verizon, TDS, and WOW. The motion is to approve the utility make-ready work agreements for the Farragut fiber optic cable and infrastructure project.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, any resident comments on this one?
No, sir.
None? Any from our alderman?
None.
None? Okay, I'll ask in favor, vote by saying yes.
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 Let the record show the agreement's been approved as requested. Okay, looks like we are to our citizen comments.
Yes, sir. We have two speakers tonight. Our first one is Joe McBride.
Okay, Mr. McBride, please step up to the microphone and identify yourself.
My name's Joe McBride, live off 1114-4 Hewlin Drive. I was checking on the status of the traffic calming devices. Y'all did the traffic study back in September and still have not heard anything back as far as the status of it.
Okay,
Mayor, do you want me to handle that?
go ahead.
Okay, thanks. We sent notification to whoever the applicants were of the traffic study just last week. We just completed that and sent it to the various, I don't know how many there were. There were several folks that were part of that, and we sent the notification to them last week. So they've got the data that is part of that study. Certainly, you're welcome to come by. Our engineering team would be happy to sit down with you and go over it as well, if you'd like to.
Okay, where's that at?
You can contact Eric Schindler. He's our deputy town engineer, and he'd be happy to meet with you. And it's here on this site.
Okay, because it's my understanding that there had to be a member on each street for
Again,
approval.
Again, we just completed the study, so all he did was send a letter stating what the study showed as part of
Okay.
that. It's pretty complex, but he'd be happy to sit down with you and go through it if you'd like.
So Eric in engineering.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yep.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. McBride.
Our second speaker is Joey Ruffalo.
Joey, please step up to the microphone.
Good evening, everyone. Joey Ruffalo, Campbell Lakes Drive. Recently, my wife and I attended the gala for the East Tennessee Children's Hospital, and while we were there, we ended up purchasing 3 trees that were produced or created by the Farragut Primary School. With help of Ron and Haley, they are displayed here in the hallway here for everybody to enjoy. So I just wanted to invite everybody down to take a look at them and take pictures with them and enjoy the work of the kids in town, and proposing a mutual in perpetuity exchange program. You guys can have them displayed every year as you guys see fit. So just wanted to announce that to everybody.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Joey.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Good deal.
That concludes our speakers.
Okay, we'll move on to town administrator's report.
Mayor, just a couple things. We've got a busy time of year right now, so I just want to remind everybody, we've got our Campbell Station Skate for the first time this year going on at Ralph McGill Plaza. Now through the end of the year, you can go from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night and skate your heart out over there for $5 a piece for 45 minutes a time. But it's a great time. We've had a lot of folks out there already this year, and that'll be going on through the end of this calendar year. Also have Light the Park every night at Founders Park. There's different activities, different vendors, food trucks, different groups giving away various things. So again, Founders Park, Light the Park, all the way through the beginning of the next calendar year. And then this weekend on Saturday, we have our Wreaths Across America event. And that is going to be on Saturday, December 14th at 10 a.m. We're going to have a presentation at Pleasant Forest Cemetery where whoever would like to come volunteer, be a part of the group, lay wreaths at the grave sites of veterans that are buried in the various cemeteries around town. We've got volunteers going to all the cemeteries in town. I'd like to thank Chris Sheffield for doing a great job of getting that project organized, and he will be the master of ceremonies on Saturday and getting that going. So really appreciate all the staff's hard work on that, and look to have a great event on Saturday. And that's all I have to report.
Okay, great. That's a great program. This is our second year on this, and we're expanding. And just so everybody would know that all the wreaths have been paid for, so it's and that's great. Okay, next will be our town attorney's report.
I have no report tonight.
No report, okay. Well, if, without any objection, the December 12th, 2024 Farragut Mayor Board Alderman meeting is now adjourned at approximately 6:46 p.m.